Hello? Hello? Hello, hello? It's been a really long time. Hopefully, my volume is good. I'm not checking, but we are banking on it being good. We are banking on it being good. So, I knew that when I got this, that I was gonna go live, and I wanted to go through it. I wanted to go through it with y'all. So, that's what we're gonna do. So, I've received this. I received this about probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, but god damn, the fall off is tough. You know when? Okay, so like when people be talking about music and doing music, and they have a concept for an album, and you're like, holy shit, how did you know? Like, how did you know? Like, you know that an album's gonna impact you more than you thought because you know that you kind of going through the same thing. Not obviously the same thing, but like you could find similarities between this existence and that existence. Same thing. So, as we know, my boy on tour right now. I'm not doing this for every photo, just a heads up. Like, I want to, but like also the quality is pretty shit and you're barely gonna see anything. So I'm really just gonna read some shit and see where we go from there. So what's today? August 26th. That boy was in Seattle. Now he's in Sacramento. Damn, the LA show coming up real quick. LA show coming up real quick. Alright. I will say that there do be a lot of big moments. There's a VIP section. So in the VIP section, page 56, we have Lauryn Hill. Page 60 is Cole. 76 is Glorilla. The Men Behind the Fall Off is 82. 94 is JID. 102 is Larry June. 110 is Juro. Mez Davis. 114 is Yachty and Dad. But then we have What's in the Club. See, bro. I don't think that we really talk about how many people correlate things to other things. Like What's in the Club, the VIP section. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not explaining this shit to y'all. If you guys don't get it, you guys don't get it. And you know what? Fuck y'all. 8 letter from the editor. From Ether to a Cold War. From Ether to a Cold War. Computer Love comments by the new letters. First things first, the baddest bitch and AI and Rip Combat Jack and what? Page 14 is gonna be a fucking moment. At the Chicken Shack, Time Saver Grocers, Fayetteville, North Carolina. In Motion, they got next, so I assume that's like who's up next. Boy, like, I know who's up next. I feel like I'm excited. I'm excited. Shit is real, like Fat Joe in '93. No Cap, Dreams and Nightmares. Page 43. 52. We got the Tastemaker mixtape. Congressman loves B.I.G. like Harlemites love Killa. Beats to the Rhymes and album review section. Reflection. The Come Up. The Voices Shaping What's Next. R.I.P. God's Favorite DJ. Last Word. A Fork in the Bunts Road. So up front, we have the Fall Off magazine. These are just the Dream Squad. I guess the credits for everybody. Founder El Presidente, which is actually hilarious. Editor in chief, any names in? Derek. Contributing writers. A lot of writers on here. I was really hoping that, like, when I seen that other people got to be writers, I was kind of mad that I didn't get to be a writer. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I really wanted, like, fuck, are you kidding me? Kidding me? Out of all the times to see my shit, now would definitely be the time. This is honestly one of see, this is how I know motherfuckers be stealing my ideas. The fall off exists to document a moment in time. Hip hop has never stood still. It has moved through eras, sounds, and perspectives, constantly redefining itself. Along the way, the culture has also created distance, often favoring what's next while overlooking what came before. Oh, somebody knows what I'm talking about. We see this differently. The publication is built on finding the middle ground, a space where generations, ideas, and influences can exist in conversation from the bedroom walls, once covered in torn magazine pages that shaped early visions, to the sounds and stories defining today. Both hold equal weight. We are not here to choose sides between past and present, but to connect them with clarity and respect. The fall off is for everyone who has ever loved this thing of ours called hip hop. The ones who built it, the ones evolving it, and the ones just stepping into it. This is not about preserving moments or chasing trends. It's about documenting the culture as it lives, breathes, and changes in real time. Felton Brown. Printed in Vancouver, Canada by Hemlock Printers. Yo, shout out Vancouver, motherfucking Canada. Little deplore. I was born in BC. So I'm gonna try not to rip any of these pages, fold them. So we have the editor's letter. I'm gonna read all this shit. I don't care. We're reading it all. Okay. This may be a two-parter. Okay. Editor's letter. And we're gonna follow every single person off of this. It titles "Nas Let Me Down?" Question mark. True story. South Beach, Miami. It's January, the first week of 2001. I'm on the video set for Nas and the Bravehearts hit Uchi Wally. The shoot served what those familiar with the devilish single would expect. Curvaceous lights. That's definitely not how you pronounce that word. Cameras and women from Georgia to Florida, providing the pixels, the vibe inside. Nas' trailer was the popular opposite. The day sizzled so electric that both the set sun outside of the mobile lodge and the consuming quiet inside felt foreign. I sat across from Nasir Jones, separated only by a cube table that perched 2 plastic cups and a bottle of Hennessy. I'm a 23-year-old writer interviewing the writer I worshipped at 17 years old while drinking on the job, my spirit of choice. Life is good. My intentions, though, were not the holiest. I flew to Miami fixated on one mission: ignite or prevent a King of New York war between Nas and Jay-Z. Damn. Okay. At the time, the Rockefeller Records roster was jumping on New York City radio and mixtapes, taking shots at Nas, Wavy Caesar. They audited Esco on everything from his street cred to car rims. So in his trailer, I poured yak and praised and pride, all to prime 1994's Rookie of the Year for queries like, "What's up with young Rockefeller coming at you?" Nas' response was essentially, "Heavy is the head." I followed up with what I anticipated would be checkmate. "What's your relationship with Jay-Z right now?" Nas says, "We're cool." The cover story dropped in March that June from Hot 97's Summer Jam stage. Jay crystallized the century's first rap war with "Ask Nas, he don't want it with Hov. I was livid." Nas and I in that trailer was the opportunity for him to dictate calm or combat, but most significantly to make history. How could Nostradamus not see that? Instead of our cover story takeover, was the first strike in what would go down as hip hop's Thrilla in Manila. Nas also robbed me of making history. Some of this I'm putting together, some of this I am much more research needs to be done. But what I'm starting to understand is that this Bonsu Thompson. Oh, pray to God I'm not butchering these names. Bonsu, editor in chief, cultural engineer, culture's currency. Bonsu Dreams with a Z. He was well, honestly, God. Okay, I have an idea. Because I feel as if I want to. Okay, so I am going to try. I want to listen to Uchiwali, actually. Let me go to Spotify. I want to listen to Uchiwali. I think that would be cool. Will this? I hate this shit. I hate this shit. Okay. That's playing over there, so now it should play over here. Let me say. Uchiwali? No, it's in the Brave Hearts. Ooh. Okay. Oh, I know where I know, oh my god. So, many know this song. Okay? It is what it is. However, I know where I know this beat from. Yeah. So, if you've ever listened to this song before, or if you haven't, I'll tell you what. You're gonna hear this, and then you're gonna go to See, mad sex talk on this one. The Uchi Wally one, obviously. We like this. Okay. It's tough. This is one of my favorite J. Cole songs. I don't know if anybody's ever needed to know that, but if you did, this is it. But yeah. Why are we not playing it? Why can't I hear it? Why? See, this is see. Normally, I would just have this fucking app on my computer, but fuck Spotify and all these goddamn apps, bro. Times occasions. Station reporting to you live like the International Space Station. Probably vacation on Mars. The flow is out of this world, and so is the bars. Blood facade right off your squad. Little rappers, I love you, but you ain't shit till you get offers in Prague. Sorry, I had to. Anyways, so this motherfucker was on set for that Uchi Wally, which is the beat that was used on the album The Year Freestyle. Okay, so let's just ignore that for right now. But that's insane. That's a diabolical timeline. So we're there, right? The first week of 2026, exactly 25 years after that video shoot in Miami, I found myself in partnership with another contender for the crown. The difference is that this big three MC opted to control his narrative. The presumed battle rapper not only chose peace, but he disarmed the opposition and placed proverbial pistols in the palms of his spectators. This is agency and faith applied at once. That is true power. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people think that he should have done it anyways. I'm not so opposed to him not doing it. I don't think he needed to battle. I don't think it was really a big three conversation. You know, I think if we did get J. Cole in there, and I think it's important to have, you know, I think it's important to reign. Arguably, I would have argued that Cole is number one in that scenario. Those two fight for second, aka Kendrick. Drake stays third. Cole, Kendrick go after it on an album, on wax. That's how we get the motherfucking Cole Kendrick project. Okay? Because, like, we know that Cole and Drake are cool. We know that. We never thought that Drake and Kendrick were cool together. So we never expected that. However, we did always want a Cole and Kendrick album. So it's like kind of weird the way that they went about it. Because I would have argued, don't get me wrong, Kendrick tight, Drake, do you make hits? But motherfucker, bro, there's every fucking feature this man was on was praised to the heavens. Greatest verse of the year. Greatest verse of the year. Greatest verse of the year. Bro's gonna drop in like 10 years like an album of like, you know, diamond hits, and he's not gonna own a lead single. It's gonna be everybody else's song. So like for me personally, that's what I would have done. Leave Cole out of it. Let him drop whatever it is that he wants to drop in the meantime. You know, let him be featured on both the albums. Don't care. He was pretty much the future in this whole situation, anyways. And then just move on. Just move on. Him and like, I don't know. Because if you think about it, J. Cole and his whole label just dropped, right? He paid out everybody. Said, here you go, here you go. We out though. No more Dreamville. You still got Dreamville, but you know, no more Dreamville. But who's got a record label now? who got a record label now. You know what I mean? You're gonna tell me you're gonna have K Dot, Baby Keem, like two other people I don't remember, and Cole on that. That's your starting five. That's your starting five. I don't know. See, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many different other ways that this could have gone. God, we're only 8 pages in. But I was surprised by the volume of female rap fans turned off by a white flag wave mid-battle. Aggression is too often the sole metric for masculinity. Generations of brown and black boys are made to feel invisible unless they're gripping a gun or punching an op. The right to fight is always yours, albeit if you plan to fight, decisiveness provides a primitive advantage, maybe. While choosing not to enter the ring may define you as a warrior, it makes you no less of a man. Remaining committed to the wrong path for ego and optics, even at the potential peril of a former friend, is exponentially more bitch ass. That's precisely how Pac lost me. Learning more. Because when you think about it, it was Jay-Z versus Nas. It was Pac versus Biggie. Why the fuck would you have 3 people fighting for the crown? You know what I mean? Like, Kendrick pops out, but his verses are never like his feature verses. I'm not trying to discredit. I love everybody here, but like his feature credits have never carried the weight that J. Cole's has. Drake is cool, but like his rapping has never been credited as true to him, professional. His words, you know, a lot of he's got a ghostwriter. K-Dot got a motherfucking Pulitzer Prize, so it's like they are winning in different areas. But when it would come to the crown, I would have argued that Cole already got it. I don't know. So I don't know. It makes no sense for them to have fought, and I feel like Cole backing out was actually him saying, "Yo, I already got it. I'll see you all when you are done bickering," you know, type shit. Because it seemed to me that K-Dot and Drake's debate or arguments were a little bit more petty than what Cole got. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, I feel like Cole really would have had him in a bag. Like, there's a possibility that K-Dot takes it. But even if K-Dot did take it, is that really who you want to take it? Don't get me wrong. K-Dot is a crazy rapper. Okay? Kendrick Lamar, crazy. He's always been good. Rarely is he bad. He knows what he needs to do. He does it. He's good. Okay? But who is the people's king? When we get Kendrick, we get Kendrick. But when Kendrick says no more, you do not. There is no press. There is no fucking TMZ post. We don't even know if this man leaves our house or not. The game can't contact him. You know what I mean? And I'm not even trying to keep on this beef because this beef is stupid and I hate it. But like, if you really think about it, who would you have wanted to be crowned? And I'm not gonna lie, Drake. I'm gonna be honest, man. You should have left that goth girl alone. It does not help your case at all. Alright, moving on. I'm getting through this because then we're moving on after this. I don't want to be here all day. As the most recent rap war sits in a momentary ceasefire, I stand in a full circle moment. Unlike my experience 25 years ago, the current Big Three conveyed his modus operandi cultural addiction instead of division with a clear constitution. The fruit of our partnership is this very rap mag issue. Salute Veep Felton Brown. What the fuck am I reading? A composite artifact dedicated to highlighting Dreamville alongside hip hop's past, present, and future. Foregoing walks on the dark side, we choose to platform the luminous. The Boston Femc Bia, who's ready for queendom, the page 34, and JID, who one day could out-rap everyone, page 94. Storytelling and the primacy. Freeway's paternal grief hits home with a battering ram, page 44, and the levity with which Manny Fresh discusses being jerked by cash money softens jagged truth, page 48. What the fuck are we talking about? Be clear, this is not a rappers only invite. We offer your legendary actors, illustrators, radio personalities, basketball players, politicians, and even artist parents. For your lyric lovers, a whole lot of candy bars. Oh, and that letter written by Empress Miss Lauryn Hill, page 56, involved not a single ghostwriter. So take your time with these precious pages. Thank me later. For now, in the words of original King of New York, you're all welcome. Took a really long time to get through that part, but if you made it through that part, there's a big ass photo of Biggie taken by Big Coney in Brooklyn. This is what we all read right there. Like I said, this conversation, this is why I wanted to do this here. I think it would be a better conversation for us. I have to check to see if I'm still live. I don't know if I'm still live. Nice. I know it says, but it's not telling me how long I've been live now. So we have the guest list. We have some behind the scenes photos of Cole in the studio. We have Andre G, writer, JID, page 94, navy blue, page 40. Andre G is a journalist, prolific writer, and rap critic who has interviewed hip-hop's giants like Snoop Dogg and Lil Wayne. He most recently worked as a staff writer for Rolling Stone, where his sharp analysis and fearless reporting earned him LA and New York's Press Club Awards. Once J. Cole retires, who do you see sliding into the big three? J. Cole will be one of the last rap superstars in the traditional sense. He rose in a different ecosystem. The music industry is too fragmented to expect another big three on the commercial scale of this era's trio. I think there's an argument there, but I don't know what it is, so I'm not having it. Then we have Anne Jamila Chisholm, copy editor. I'm butchering all these fucking names. I'm so sorry, but she's a copy editor, writer for Manny Fresh, page 48, and Bunna B, page 133. Chisholm is an author, journalist, and two-time King Bilio's fiction fellow and professor of storytelling. Her memoir, The Community, was a 2022 Amazon editor's pick for Best Book of the Year. What would retirement look like for you? She said. It includes a love-filled home and a perpetual warm, cultured, conflict-free location, a well-worn passport, and a boat, and the freedom to share stories that inspire and revolutionize others. Okay. Not bad. She really was thinking about what that retirement looked like. Then we have Sloan, artist, Lauryn Hill, page 56. Sloan, also known as Nope, not even trying. Is a Nigerian designer and artist whose portfolio includes spray paint, large scale pop art, canvases, graffiti, caricatures, and murals. In 2023, he became the youngest person to design the Britannia statuette for the annual Brit Awards. How would you describe your creative bold bond with Miss Lauryn Hill? I've gone through a very hard time in my life because of my substance abuse problems and mental issues. Miss Hill helped me learn that recognizing my issues doesn't necessarily mean accepting them. I spent my whole life wearing a mask, and I still do, whether it's in my work or life. I'm just grateful to have met her. Okay. Cree Miles, writer, banned for ED, page 20. Miles is a Webby nominated book influencer and writer. She runs the Penguin Random House Vertical, Always Black, which uplifts black writers and the readers who love them. I'm not gonna lie, I understand why I didn't get offered to be in this magazine, but at one point I would like to work on a hip hop magazine. Why was 16 the chosen number for your list of albums that could be banned? Every number in Malice's FICO verse was picked with intention. 8 out of point 8 out of the 16 bars contains numbers, and when you add all the digits, they equal 48, which is the last number he weaves into the verse. The reason why I picked 16 albums does not have nearly that much intention. It just felt like a natural place to stop. Okay. So here we have some people, some asks, some people that talked about the fall off. Computer love. Did I not show you? Yeah, I didn't show you, did I? So, this is the guest list. So those are the photos from Colin's studio. And as you can see, those are little descriptions that I read. Like I said, you're not going to see a whole lot of this. I wish you could, but I think at some point I'll probably scan all these, and if you guys really do want to see which ones, maybe we'll go back in time and we'll look at it. So there's some things that the people on the internet said about the album. I'm so grateful to Cole. I'm so grateful for the Dreamville family. I really love this shit. February 6, 2026. We know if there's one thing Cole does, it's follow his heart in the face of what would conventionally be the cool or expected thing to do. Gotham Hip Hop Twitter. The fall off feels like a culmination of the strongest elements from every J. Cole era. You hear the hunger of the warm up, the introspection of the 2014 Forest Hills Drive, the technical sharpness of the off season, all in one place. Caleb from X. That's actually probably a pretty good, like, when you put your brain to it, that's actually probably a pretty good culmination of what the fall off is supposed to be. And I think that was, if not J. Cole's intention, I feel like that was the intention overall, was to show you the best parts of all those generations. I think at the time, I think some of these songs do come from or were in like conceptualized around this certain time. I don't know which ones, I don't know when, I don't know where, I don't know any of that, but I do believe that some of these songs were conceptualized around the time of those different eras of Cole. So what ultimately carries the album isn't any single moment or standout track, but Cole himself, his perspective, his restraint, and his willingness to sit in uncertainty rather than resolve it for the listener. Thrush. February 9, 2026, Rolling Stone. In a lot of ways, the album sounds like the back cover art. A kid in his room, loving hip-hop, listening, taking inspiration from the influences, and plotting on a way to make his dreams come true. and put his city on. Rob Markman. I think I remember seeing that one. See, J. Cole could be anywhere in the world right now, rolling anything. And he chose HBCUs and a Honda Civic. He chose the people who chose him first. That's love. Love that doesn't feel like marketing. And that right there is why he's him. That's a good point. You know, it's like, and I think that like getting it from the people rather than the critics is way more important than you think. Like when you get it from the people, it's because the people have literally been there and lived with it. The critics are there and they hear it and they want to tell you what's wrong with it. They want to tell you what's good with it. I don't believe in the whole critical idea. I believe in the whole idea of like, hey, which albums did you fall in love with and why did you choose them? And that's why when I do my favorites, it's not like an award. It's not like, whoa, this guy's lyrical ability was far more superior in this hour and a half than this other guy's hour and a half. It's nothing like that because arguably in the English language, I can't tell you what fucking English power he's using. I have no idea. But I do know what songs I related to the most on fucking It's Been Awful. I could tell you what songs have really put me into a emotional spiral. I think Cameras on It's Been Awful is the best song on there. But I think that album is a breakup album. And if you listen to it and you've either been through a breakup recently or you know that you've been through a breakup or you can think of a breakup that you had, that album hurts a little bit more. I don't know. This is 24 tracks of a man documenting what it feels like to chase God, G-O-D, through creativity and then choosing to let go of everything. Everything. So, the accolades, the competition, the need to be remembered as the greatest because he realized the chase itself was making him lose sight of why he started in the first place. You see, some critics just would not say that. They would not say that. When the chance to connect with Cole and When the chance to connect with Cole and Eve arose, folks freestyled, shared their demos, offered up their venues, wrote letters and audio hugs, and so on. Seeing that energy from all over the country made me think of what it means for folks to have a moment of appreciation and opportunity. I imagine part of the purpose of this Trunk tour is recognizing that every place has streamers working to put it on the map. Ooh, that's a good way to look at it. Ooh, that's a good way to look at it. Oh, fucking. As the fall off potentially closes the chapter on J. Cole's album releases, the rollout itself becomes part of his legacy. It's a reminder that in an increasingly fragmented music industry, the artists who maintain the deepest connections with their communities retain the most creative and strategic freedom. I agree. I think the whole time, this whole fall off is actually one of the greatest get-ups. And I can't wait for that to be my Substack title. This fall off is one of the... Where do I write that down? Where's my pen? The fall off is one of the greatest get up stories. Because at the end of the day, bro, not only did this motherfucker have one of the greatest, I would argue that he's number one. However, number two is kind of crazy. The greatest feature run of all time arguably some of the greatest conceptually, maybe not greatest conceptual albums. I think QIOM.d is actually like a pretty great album, but I don't think it will get its flowers for a very long time. Um, just one of the the people to love hip hop the most, like for real, like a nerdy hip hop dude. What a nerd, the hip hop dude. Like there's hip hop dudes, and then there's these dudes, and then there's nerdy hip hop dudes in the middle. Okay, he's a nerd in hip hop. And, some people like to hear that, some people don't. While Cole's portrayal of the Ville can be dark, he also weaves plenty of hope into a package that comprises introspection, lyrical complexity, and sweeping ideas. He reminds young folks coming up behind him in Fayetteville that he made it and they can too, in whatever they dream. That was in the newspaper. Fayetteville isn't mythology here. It's lived experience, and that's the quiet trick of the record. Cole isn't rapping about being famous here. He's rapping about still being from somewhere. Yeah, okay, JJ. Jermaine did what the architect trains us all to do. Created a map to navigate the territory. He invented J. Cole, the brash, unafraid, confident, and incredible rapper. Substack. Yes, and yes. I think a lot of these are really good. I think probably like some of them probably not so great. But oh, I don't know if I read this one. This one's for Forbes. As the fall potentially closes the chapter on J. Cole's album. No, I think I absolutely did read this one. But we have a photo from Miknog, Miknog, of RZA. And we have a photo from Royal Dog of Nipsey Hussle in Los Angeles. There's RZA ones in Oslo. So this side is the computer love. As you can see, we were reading all those quotes. Dreamer. And we have Nipsey Hussle, RZA. We have all the quotes. Cool. Shout out everybody who did some shit. Okay. First things first. Ooh, this is gonna be fun. This is actually gonna be fun. Okay. I don't know how long we've been live for, but we're gonna keep moving forward. So, here we are moving on to first things first. Title is She's Gotta Have It. She's Gotta Have It. Never before has hip hop boasted the current volume of female rap stars. The Lady MC evolution is a revolution. Her inception is a pre-B-girl revelation. Words by Mahogany, can't be her name. L. Brown, illustration by Sophie Lee. If that is your name, I don't mean no disrespect. I just mean my pronunciation is horrific. I think there's a cloud in here somewhere. That's sick. I don't know what that means. Okay. I'm gonna read pretty much most of this and I'll stop. Same thing. Okay. Female rap lyrics have historically been about more than sex. Born from a culture that once relegated womanhood to invisible or hypervisible, is a new generation of femcs. Just feel like we could come up with a better name than femcs, who have reclaimed their erotic autonomy. The city girls and lottos of the world have conjured irresistibility on stage and Billboard charts by kicking stiletto heels through man-made boxes. Oh, that is such a sick way of putting it. The rejection has history. By kicking stiletto heels through man-made boxes. Fucking right, L. Brown. Predating Lil' Kim's hardcore and Foxy Brown's Nana albums was a tussle between the tomboy for lyrical respect, Queen Latifah, MC Light, and sexy linguistics of finesse and Sinquiz, Salt and Pepper, but before S&P's Push It expanded B-Girl wings wider, there were liberated songbirds like Bessie Smith, Millie Jackson, Betty Davis, and Evelyn Champagne King. I will be looking up all these people afterwards, by the way. These foundational figures midwived a lineage of those able to simultaneously twerk and lyrically demolish their male counterparts. The divas of the 70s soul and disco eras laid groundwork for Lil Kim's synthesized I used to be scared of the dick, now I throw lips to the shit, handle it like a real bitch. Oh my god. That's hilarious. Did I say that? Like, man, I feel like I cooked that line, I'm not gonna lie. I used to be scared of the dick, now I throw lips to the shit, handle it like a real bitch. Oh my god. Shout out Lil Kim, bro. Rap queens of the 21st century like Nicki Minaj and Cardi B owe Kimberly Jones as much as she owes Grace Jones. The latter icon alchemized black female bodies into autonomous, purposeful, and conceptual art. Unlike her predecessors, Jones worked at the nexus of performance, fashion, and music. She deployed geometric frames and body paint to sculpt her own persona, while nightclubbing enslaved to the rhythm morphed from music recordings to visual manifestos. After the death of Notorious Big, Lil Kim's partner in life and lyrics, she began creating her own spectacle. In tandem with the incomparable vision of Misa Hilton, Kim inherited her hyper-stylized form of self-expression from Grace Jones. The self-proclaimed queen bitch hit us with wigs, pasties, and minks until her sexuality was no longer a byproduct of the male gaze, but an afterthought to that fact that she was a cultural architect of contemporary women. Excuse me. Pre-Kim and Foxy, female rappers were expected to be either good, MC Trouble, or bad, Lady of Rage, with little playground for humanity in between. Nicki Minaj snatched the aughts baton from the Trinas and Kias to remix the narrative by allowing all of her identities a seat at the table. An audacious Cardi reminded us how critical it is to remain both fragile and strong, soft and tough, feral and praiseworthy, fun and funny. Megan Thee Stallion upended patriarchal narratives with overt feminist philosophies, her body assuming the role of puppeteer. Similarly, the sexiness in Lotto's lyricism is qualified by her defiant and unflinching independence. Then there is Tampa's very own Doechii, the culmination of this evolution. She arrived in spectacular fashion, theoretically avant-garde and barred up, yet the source of her superpower is a distinct balancing act of vulnerability and romantic fluidity. Black women who rap about sex understand the game. Has, as always, been about power, the power to survive, protest, receive, and consent to pleasure, define oneself in a culture bent on shrinking her into ornaments. I'm fucking up all this, but I hope that you guys are catching what I'm trying to say here. From Millie Jackson to Foxy Brown to Ice Spice, all prove what the world rarely has the courage to admit. A black woman can be the most dangerous person in any environment because she will show you who she is, who you truly are, and then dare you to become fire. Oh. Ooh, I like that. Good thing to put first. And I'm not gonna lie, I do think it's quite important that we highlight females. I'm not gonna lie, I have not listened to the new Rhapsody album. And I'm going to. I'll probably do it soon. Probably either today or tomorrow. Because I do want to listen to it. I think it's important that we listen to it. And I think it's important that I listen to it. Because Rhapsody is, and I'm not gonna say I'm upset that Rhapsody didn't get mentioned in here, because don't get me wrong, there's a lot of female artists that could be mentioned in here. I think Dochi's a great hit. I think Cardi B and Nicki, great ones to bring up. It is also only a one page. It's not like the whole thing, so I'm not too upset. But I do believe that Rhapsody, especially being from uh, the West Side, I guess, or Fayetteville or wherever she's from, relatively close to. I want to say she's from North Carolina. I could be very wrong there, but I'm pretty sure she's on that side of the island. I think she's a force to be reckoned with, and I think it would have been. I think it's something to bring up because I know that in here is kind of more of a focus on the sexuality and like the what you do with that, but I don't know. Whatever. Good writing, good points. Again, kicking stiletto heels through man-made boxes. Great way to put it. So, anyways, this was that. So, this is the artwork that she was talking about, which is by Sophie Lee. And then first things first, that's everything we read. Like I said, I hope you don't expect to have like the greatest view, but I hope that you get like a little bit of it. So, ooh, Benny Siegel. I'm a big fan of Benny. Big fan of Benny. I think it's one of my favorites from the 90s. The problem that I have with coming back to what I do is that nowadays people just assume that everything's AI. Fuck you. Siegel, you heard? Benny Siegel lost his signature voice but then found AI. See what I'm talking about? Fuck. This is by Keith Nelson Jr., illustration by Sincere. Okay. Let's go. On December 5th, 2014, shortly after dropping his children off at school, Benny Siegel was a victim of a drive-by shooting. Bullets ripped through the rapper's midsection, laying him bloodied outside of his brother-in-law's Pleasantville, New Jersey home. Projectile fragments collapsed the lung of the former Rockefeller record star, resulting in part of his lungs being removed. But that wasn't the worst of it. Doctors said Beans may never regain the signature sinister baritone that helped him spit some of the hardest Philly trod bars ever written. Ooh. It was devastating, says Siegel, whose voice, after the shooting, couldn't rise higher than a whisper. A year went past and my voice wasn't as strong as I would have liked it to be. I just chalked it up to our music career being over. What remained was a gravely voiced shell of a Broad Street bully. He sounded like a ghost trying to claw its way back to the physical, and he hated it. Then the music industry changed. I heard a Drake record somebody did in April 2023 when the AI technology first came, says Siegel. When I heard it, I really thought it was Drake, so I was like, oh shit, I wonder if that works for me. Beans discovered the AI platform Hooky, which used uploaded acapellas of his old voice to learn his original tone and create new vocal prompts. He then uploaded new raw vocals to be transformed into his original voice. At first, the results were the same robotic sound that plagued many AI audio. Undeterred, he kept uploading old verses until the lost Siegel was found. Okay. I did not know this story. However, I think it's important that we talk about this story. I think this. I'm very curious at who decided what story goes on what pages, because I think having the talk about the female MCs and then AI at the front of the book, very, very important. Not only does that place us exactly where we are in the world, female rappers kind of being like the mainstay right now, and AI being such a main contender with our problems with what we are doing. Do you get mad at this? If you're a Benny Siegel fan, Beanie Siegel, not Benny, Beanie Siegel. If you're a Beanie Siegel fan, do you get mad at this? Or are you like, fuck yeah, more Beanie Siegel? Around July 2023, 3 months after the fake Drake song gave him hope, Beans heard the voice that helped him conjure classics like Truth punched through the speakers. His first reaction was, oh, they're in trouble. Mac was back. Today, he's as grateful as he is adamant that his AI use is a unique case that only he and NWA founder member Doc can do. He explains, it ain't like the Timbaland situation with Suno, where it's artificial intelligence all the way around. This is actually me creating this music. I'm just using AI to filter my old voice back. After reintroducing his original voice back on D. Jones's 2025 joint motion picture featuring Jadakiss, Beanie plans to release his first full-length project in over 12 years. There also may be a dream collab project with Jadakiss in the future. Once again, it's on. Well, let me show you the photo, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So, Siegel, you heard? That's everything that we wrote. That's Big Dog. So, for me personally, I think if there was ever a moment in which you should use your voice with AI, this is it. Now, something that I've always said, I shouldn't say I've always said, something that I've been saying since AI has come into play. If you are a movie star, if you're Zendaya, if you're Tom Holland, if you're Morgan Freeman, I think if you're somebody who has had a prominent voice in the industry for a very, very long time, I think right now is the perfect time to record lines consistently. Like, find every clip or every audio clip of your natural language and kind of sell it in a way, if you were to say sell it. But I think it's important for us to use those to kind of, if they're going to use, it's confusing. Look, man, I love that Beanie was able to find his voice. I'm kind of intrigued to hear what this song sounds like, motion picture, but I'd rather listen to the whole album. So I'm gonna wait for the whole album. But you know what? When it comes to fucking fixing some shit and getting you to where you want to be, I think this is one of the only times I would have agreed that this was awesome. I think I found a spelling mistake. I don't know if Nas would have said it like this. Alright, so next page, digital moments that changed hip hop forever. So let's go 2007. DJ drama is raided and mixtapes go legit. Hip hop shifted after federal agents hit the game's top DJ with a Rico. The bootlegging charges didn't stick to Teflon Drum, but the ordeal pushed artists to record and market mixtapes as official releases, paving the way for blog era classics like Drake's So Far Gone. Soulja Boy pioneers hip hop's internet revolution. Let's be real, Soulja Boy didn't do everything first, but he did pry open music's digital gates. Crank That by Soulja Boy turned MySpace and YouTube into launchpads, proving a dance, a webcam, and a bop could birth a hip hop star without radio or record label. Wow, so fucking true. I mean, if only new players in the game knew that. Kendrick Lamar throws down the gauntlet. Back in 2013, a Big Sean throwaway sparked a Royal Rumble for a rap's crown. Kendrick Lamar's blistering control guest verse put the ether in Ethernet, claiming supremacy while calling out blog era peers by name. Timelines exploded, replies flew rapidly, fans watched the throne. Years later, the dominoes are still toppling. Oh. I think it's kind of crazy to say that years later the dominoes are still toppling, because goddamn, they really were still toppling. Cardi B hits #1 with Bodak Yellow. Cardi B's big Bronx personality made her Instagram's favorite, but rap stardom wasn't guaranteed for the reality TV notable. Then Bodak Yellow happened. Buoyed by memes and social media shares, the Bodega Baddies breakout single topped the Billboard Hot 100, effectively ending hip-hop's one-woman rule. Those bloody shoes strutted so Megan Thee Stallion and Latto could soar. And then there's a GOAT quote. And this is where I think that they kind of fucking misspelled something. It says when he's best, you're always going to be in the ring. When homies is saying you'll see it. Jadakiss and the Locks rule versus. I think this was the other thing in hip hop. Back catalogs got a boost during the COVID-19 pandemic. Quarantine pushed fans to revisit sunnier times, and Versus became the perfect conduit. The Locks dismantling Dipset via Madison Square Garden livestream marked the series' competitive peak, proof that legacy acts could still move a crowd and our culture. So, here we have digital moments, and you're gonna tell me that he said he best? No, he didn't. That's a spelling mistake. Whoops. Some motherfucker didn't check all the spelling. That's hilarious. Oh, this is kind of sick. Banned for Ed. When the banning of books that foster critical thought behind America's ugliest truths, such as race, we tasked a literary expert. I feel like there's a lot of spelling mistakes in this bitch. To imagine rap albums that could also become a public enemy. Rap albums that could become a public enemy. Ooh. Okay. First one we have is Tupacalypse Now by Tupac. Okay. Another one that we have is... Why the fuck do you go that way? That's dumb. America's Most Wanted by Ice Cube. Aquemini by Outkast. Black on Both Sides by Mos Def. By All Means Necessary, Boogie Down Productions. I've not listened to that one. I also have not listened to Tupacalypse Now. I'm gonna be honest. Fear of the Black Planet, Public Enemy. Let's Get Free, Dead Prez. Michael by Killer Mike. New World Order by Poor Righteous Teachers. Quality by Talib Kweli. We have Sex and Violence by Boogie Down Productions again. Okay, so big shots out to Boogie Down Productions. Sounds like that motherfucker hated the government. Starline by Chance the Rapper. That's an interesting pick. Straight Outta Compton by NWA. Telephone by No Name. The Devil Made Me Do It by Paris. To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. Arguably would have had that higher. And then honorable mentions was Soul on Ice by Ras Kass. And as you can see, they just have all the album artwork for you to see. And all this at the bottom. I agree with most of these. To the ones that I have listened to the ones I have not listened to, I will come back to you. Okay. Something smells weird. I don't know what it is. So we're on to a new page. Combat Jack, Pioneer of the Hip Hop Podcast by Paul Cantor. Illustrations by Dash Arts. This came out in 2010. I don't know if I've ever heard of this. Alright. When Reggie Combat Jack OC launched the Combat Jack show in 2010 on the internet radio platform PNC Radio, the podcast landscape appeared very different. Most people had never heard of a podcast. MCs were the interview subject, not the pundit. Back then, rappers looked to diversify their portfolio, launching liquor brands and clothing lines, and viewed their side of the rap game and the media as church and state. Today, podcasts are a $1 million industry, and rappers turned podcasters from Cameron and Mace to Fat Joe and Jadakiss to Joe Budden own a debt of gratitude to the Podfather, Combat Jack. May have arrived too early for a windfall, but history remembers that early episodes of the eponymous show, loud and unfiltered like a barbershop in audio form, created the model for what is regularly scheduled programming today. In many ways, Combat was the perfect person to deliver the nascent art form to the streets. Born in Brooklyn to Haitian immigrant parents, he came of age in the late 1970s, just as hip-hop was taking off. He initially made a name for himself in the 1990s as a music attorney, working with record labels like Def Jam, Bad Boy, and Rockefeller. The strain and seediness of the music biz sent him to explore the media side of hip-hop culture. While working at MTV, he began blogging under the pseudonym Combat Jack, which he adopted from the book Generation Kill. He was an insider turned outsider, both a student and participant within hip-hop. It's very nice. I didn't know about this, man. By the time of Combat, R.I.P. By the time of Combat's tragic death from colon cancer in December 2017, he has amassed over 450 recorded episodes and narrated and launched Mogul, The Life and Death of Chris Lighty, an ahead of its time episodic biographical podcast with Spotify. His interview archive runs the gamut from icon Spike Lee to media colleagues Bomani Jones to, of course, legendary rappers Prodigy. The Combat Jack Show is a timeless artifact. To listen now is to hear a seeker in real time. Questions are asked, ideas surface, and buried truths are unearthed. The irony in this is that the original is almost antithetical to its offspring. The show's power lived in its capacity to uplift hip hop culture, treated with gravitas, always context over controversy. Years later, the rappers turned podcasters provide their own mix of commentary and self mythology. Along the way, podcasting turned into another hustle rather than art form. Indeed, much has been lost, but the legacy of podcasting pioneer Combat Jack is undeniable. Wow, to call podcasting another hustle rather than art form might be the greatest kind of like pow pow I've ever seen. Because you're right, they turn it into another hustle. It's not an art form. It's not an art form. That motherfucker is up there screaming for no reason just to get the goddamn clicks. Anyways, here we are. Legacy, legacy, legacy. Combat Jack. Boom, boom, boom. That little quote at the bottom, it says, I got one job. I do a bunch of stuff creatively, but I sustain all my other endeavors for being the best rapper. That's Black Thought 2021. So, moving forward, we're on about page 25 here. I don't know what's going on here. How to make $1 million music video. Oh. Director, creative fees, $45,000. $75,000 for shooting labor. Equipment cost is $21,000. Insurance is $17,000. Production fee is $67,000. Talent costs $68,000. Studio and set construction is $20,000. Props, wardrobe, animals of $15,000. Film stock, develop and prints is $18,000. Editorial and finishing is $36,000. Pre-production and wrap costs is $48,000. And miscellaneous is $19,000. What do you spend $19,000 on miscellaneous shit if you're not covering all that other stuff? Grand total on paper, $704,000. And then talent's appearance, $90,000. Additional talent, team travel for $15,000 is $52,000. Talent team, black car, ground transport is $17,000. Ecologist is $12,000. Per diem, $150 a day. Times 45 people for 7 days is $47,000. Several helicopter rides, fuel, and staff is $60,000. Security fees for jewelry and bodyguards is $28,000. Artist personal trainers $35,000. Exotic island ATV jeep drivers is $10,000. Waterfall snorkelers $15,000. Grand total not on paper is $357,000, making your total budget $1 million. I don't think I'll ever shoot a music video that's worth $1 billion or $1 million. But like, if you did, this is everything you need to know. I would maybe call up this man. I feel like he may know something more. But I don't think I would ever do that. So, moving forward, I think I'm going to pause here. I think pausing here is a great idea. I'd like to come back to this. I don't think I'm ready to keep going. I kind of want to take a break. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. We obviously all have homework that we have to do, but I also have other stuff that I gotta do. So, if you've been here from the start, you haven't, because nobody watches this shit. I can promise you. Thank you. If you watch this later, thank you. And if you're J. Cole, big fan. I hope you have a great time. Great magazine. But there was a spelling mistake. Just a heads up. I won't tell nobody if you don't tell nobody. Hey, you know what? If this was made with AI, there wouldn't be spelling mistakes. So, human error. Also, J. Cole, if you are watching this, I'm going to use this piece of plastic that has the fall off written over it. I don't know when I'm going to use it, but I'm going to use it in a design for you. So, don't know, just a heads up on that. I'm going to be using this magazine read through kind of moment as like a put the shoes back on type shit. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I still don't feel ready to come back to this shit. I don't like where it's at. I don't like the criticism. I don't believe in any of y'all. But I have to be honest, if there wasn't any reason to believe in it now, it would be because of J. Cole. If I were to come back and do the shit that I used to be doing for the people I used to be doing it for, and the people I used to be doing it with, it would be because J. Cole proved to me that the hip hop that I love, that I want, and that I need the world to act like still exists. You know what I mean? So, shout out to Nick. That motherfucker got me out of a little slump. I'm sorry that I haven't given you your shit yet. I promise you I'm still working on it, but I'm not working on it. It's right behind me. You see it. Right. Yeah, right there. Right there. That's your shit. The computer was unplugged and I ain't really want to turn it back on. So I had to turn it back on. I had to get that motion going. I had to get that moving. We're on. We're moving. So, you know, best of luck for that. If you are planning to stick around, hang out, more of these live streams will be coming. And I don't know, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff. So I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy your time. Enjoy your space. And I'll see you guys all in the future. Okay? So, toodaloo. Bye-bye. See you next time. Intermission. Main screen. Oh, shit. What's up? Full webcam. Alright. Bye, guys. Enjoy.